The girl discovered in surprise, the guard behind the crown prince, tall with long legs and fair skin, perfect to be a husband. So she told her father at once, saying the guard fit perfectly, her father's ideal criteria for a son-in-law. At first glance her father thought, the man was merely a guard, not worthy of his precious daughter. But the girl reminded him again, telling him to look closely. Her father took a careful look this time, and realized the guard was far from ordinary, for he estimated with his eyes. The guard's long legs were 3 inches longer than the crown prince's. Originally her father favored the crown prince most, yet the girl reminded him, the crown prince could never marry into their family, but the guard might agree to it. Her father thought this made total sense, so he told his daughter to seize the moment, to make a move right away, before another young lady beat her to it. For the happiness of her remaining years, the girl plucked up all her courage, walked over to stand before the guard, and took the initiative to greet him, asking if the young man would marry into her household. Yet the second she finished speaking, everyone at the banquet froze on the spot, and the guard did not react at all. The girl had already said what she needed to say. It was too late for her to back down now, so she started introducing herself earnestly, stating she was the only daughter of the Minister of Revenue. If he agreed to marry into her family, she would guarantee him enough food and drink for life, and a smooth, promising future. But the guard only coldly said he would not consider it. The girl hurriedly pressed him for an answer, asking if he had a betrothal or someone he loved. Yet the man said neither was the case. The girl touched her own face at this moment, and felt a hint of insecurity about her looks for the first time, thinking he found her unattractive, or thought her family status was not impressive enough. But the man remained cold and silent. The girl grew anxious, and asked why he refused her outright. The man finally spoke and said his name was Lu Mingy. The girl suddenly realized the truth. He was the only son of Marshal Lu, and the young general commanding 800,000 troops. The crown prince could not hold back a quiet laugh watching this. The girl understood at once. She had truly gotten herself into terrible trouble. She wanted to slip away immediately, yet her feet felt as if filled with lead, and she could not move an inch from where she stood. Then the young general asked with a teasing look what else she wished to ask. The girl could only say awkwardly she had mistaken him for someone else, but the young general refused to let the matter drop, leaning closer to ask who she had confused him with. The girl had lost control of her words without knowing it. Every word she spoke revealed her lies, full of inconsistencies and flaws. She quickly tried to smooth things over, saying she only wanted to invite the young general to her home as a guest. The onlookers around them began to jeer. They said when inviting someone over as a guest, no one would ask if the man would marry into their family, mocking her for lying blatantly to everyone's face. The young general saw how embarrassed the girl was, so he said if she intended to discuss marriage matters, her elders ought to come forward to negotiate. The girl then noticed her father, who had gotten her into this mess, was hiding sneakily behind a stone pillar, gesturing for her to run away fast. Yet all the noble young men from the capital were gathered inside this banquet hall. There was nowhere the girl could flee to. The young general found the girl amusing, and teased her further. If she refused to send her elders to talk, it meant she wanted him to marry into her family herself. After learning his true identity, she dared not utter the phrase marry into the family again, and struggled to explain it was all a misunderstanding. Just at that moment, she suddenly caught sight of a maid carrying several bowls of wine, so she quickly claimed she had drunk too much, and was speaking nonsense. But the young general exposed her lie right away, pointing out she held no wine cup in her hands. The girl then said her mind had gone haywire, and she was suffering from delirium. The young general pressed her relentlessly, saying she appeared completely sober to him. Seeing he would not let the issue rest, the girl lowered her posture, begging him to overlook her foolish words. Yet the young general clearly had no intention of stopping there. He asked her straight out how her father had raised her, how she dared upon seeing a man to immediately ask him to marry into her family. Since matters had come to this point, the girl decided to say whatever came to mind, and blurted out her father's standards for choosing a son-in-law. Her father had told her, a man must be tall with long legs and fair skin. Only such men make good life partners. If a man meets all 3 standards, why should she not choose him? These words made all the guests roar with laughter. But to the young general, the girl's words were an insult to his dignity. He stormed off in anger at once. Her father realized how grave the situation was, and rushed out to drag his daughter away quickly. Otherwise, once the young general calmed down, he might lead troops to raid their entire household.